Hey everyone, today I'm going to be posting a tutorial of this makeup look that I posted last night. And to prep my face for this look, I used an aloe vera gel as a primer base because A, I do not have a primer, and B, I have never used a primer before this. So I read it on some blogs that aloe vera gel works as a really good natural primer, so I just went in for that. Since I have large pores, I think I do need to prime my face before I apply any makeup so that it doesn't break out very often. Next in, I go in with a foundation. Now, you always need to find a foundation which is like of your shade, because even if it oxidizes, it's still gonna look like your own skin, and just don't go for a lighter shade because that does not look good. And I apply this using a wet beauty blender because a dry beauty blender will absorb a lot more product than a wet one, so you should always wet your beauty blender, makeup sponge, whatever you're using before applying makeup. And also because beauty blender gives you a better consistency than what you will get if you're using your fingers or you're using a makeup brush. It's just not the same. I mean, that's definitely an option, but I started using a beauty blender not a very long while back, and it definitely is very much different. And I just go over my face, once again after I'm done applying, so that there is no patchy spot on my face, like one place where the foundation is way too much and there's this other place where it's just not enough. I don't want that. No one wants that. So I just go over my face once I'm done applying the foundation, that it looks even and good. Next up, I do my eyebrows, for which I don't really need to shape my eyebrows because they are already pretty arched and I like them the way they are, so I don't really mess with their shape. I just fill them in with a brow powder using my spoolie, so like it also kind of just combs itself up and like also looks a little darker, because sometimes I notice that when I've done my entire face makeup and the eyebrows are just not sticking out that well and it looks very disbalanced, and I do not like that look. So I just go in with a spoolie and I fill my eyebrows, and if I just feel that there is a lot of excess product or if I'm not liking it, I just go in with a brush and just brush it off a little bit so that it looks a little bit more natural and not very forced or very sharp or very, very fierce, because I'm not that person. Next up, I'm going to be doing my eyeshadow. For my eyeshadow, I always use an eyeshadow primer because if you can see in this video, my eyelid color is a little bit darker than my normal skin tone. So the eyelid, sometimes the eye makeup does not read very well on my skin. So I need to give it a nice clean canvas where the colors can show and it can look nice and even and prominent and all of those big words which I don't want to say anymore. Anyway, next up, I am going in for the outer corner of my eye. I'm going to be using a dark brown color because that's kind of like my resident color, and I don't really like to wing my eyeshadow out. I keep it a natural round shape, like just the shape of my eyes. I think maybe because I haven't mastered the wing eyeshadow technique yet, I can't do it without a tape. Also because it is better to have a like a softer look for like an everyday use. So yeah, I just like to outline the outer corner of my eyes with the brown color because it makes them pop out. It gives them a natural shadow, so like there's this natural reflection kind of situation, and it definitely stands out. So that is there. And also gives your eyes a very clean canvas to work with any other colors. So brown is my first go-to color, and since I always work with warm tones, it's always a good thing to go with browns. Next in, for the main lids of my eye, I'm applying this dark cherry red, which is obviously a very dark red. It's reading pretty dark on the camera, and yeah, I apply that all over my lid, and I just make sure it doesn't like entirely cover the brown, so it gives me a nice burnt red kind of a look. And just to make sure that the brown is not absolutely overpowered by the red, I kind of just go in again with it and stretch it all the way up to my brows because I have hooded eyes, so if I don't do that, the colors are not really gonna show. So yeah, that's just a cheap trick I need to try. Nikki Tutorials told me that. Anyway, the next step I do is I take a glittery red shade and I just dab it down in the middle of my lids to give it a bit more drama, just to give it a little bit more of, like that factor to stand out, a little bit of intensity. So that is what that does for me. And yeah, just in the middle a little bit. You don't really have to cover the entire lid with it or like go in a particular transition with it, but yeah, a little bit would do. And then I always like to apply this very light angelic white highlighter shade in the middle in the inner corner of my eye, because it's just something I like. It's very angelic, it's very dewy, it's very much up my alley. So definitely like doing that. Also, I did my eyeliner and my mascara off the camera because I make very weird faces when I do it, and I do not want that to be on Instagram just yet. So yeah. Next step, what I do is my face makeup, and I'm not into baking or contouring big time, but I do make sure that I clean the lower corner or like the lower edges of my eyeshadow after I'm done doing my eyeshadow, because my eyeshadow has a lot of fallout. So I don't want it to ruin my foundation. I don't want it to look on my skin as if I have colorful patches. And yeah, that's what I do. This is a good cheap trick to make people think that you have a good jawline even when you don't. Just putting it out there, you can definitely use it. And I do not like to keep my loose powder on my face for a very long time, because then it looks very white and it looks very cakey, and I don't like that. I don't like the extreme matte look. So I just brush off all the extra product that I don't really need on my face just really well. Yeah. And instead of going it with a contour stick, I just go in with a bronzer. Just, shadow the natural parts of my face which are already receiving a shadow. So I'm not really making my features look any different than they are. I'm just like putting it in a way so that all my natural features are just standing out in their best way possible. So everywhere the shadow is, I just like to bronze that area up, make it appear a little darker than the foundation shade, so that there's a natural balance and symmetry to the face. So that's how I do my bronzing. There is no contouring in this situation. Again, with the jawline trick, I think you all should try it because it definitely works, at least for pictures. I don't know why I haven't really received any compliments on having a good jaw, so can't take a guarantee for that. Next up, I have a blush, and with my blush, I like to do this nice e-girl TikTok kind of thing, where I like to paint my cheeks pink, and then I also go in with a little dab on my nose. It kind of makes you look sick, kind of makes you look very dewy, very baby skin, angelic, innocent, all of those good things in the world. And yeah, that's just up my alley again. Next thing, for my lips, I always prep my lips using a lip balm, no matter what formula of lipstick I'm using, just to prepare my lips. And I kind of just go in with a scrubbing motion so that there's a blood flow and my lips look a little bit more plump than they actually are. So when I'm applying a lipstick, there's more volume to my lips, just that. And this, hands down, is my favorite nude shade. It's super chocolatey, but it's also just right there where it needs to be. And it's not definitely nude, like you can see when you're applying this. And yeah, that's the look. Except I think I have a highlighter remaining. Yes, I'm gonna apply a little bit of a highlighter just on the bridge of my nose, on the tip of my nose, on I think under my eyebrows and on my cheeks. Now again, I apply my highlighter only in those places where the light is naturally falling. I saw this in a wig tutorial for Lily Reinhardt, and I thought it was really smart that you only apply a highlighter where the natural light is, so that it looks a bit more realistic and not too forced. So yeah, those are some of the things that I've learned from Vogue and YouTube and all of that jazz. So yeah, I think that's the look. Thank you for watching.